Today, we're going to talk about the metaverse. Starting with the most important experience of all. Sweet baby rays.
Woo, baby! Hanging out in Mark Zuckerberg's backyard, trying to wrap my head around what is the metaverse, Web 3.0. How are people making millions of dollars off of this? And what is the next 10, 20, 30 years of this going to truly look like, and the way it is going to impact our lives? If this is something that interests you, consider hitting that like button, folks, because I think the first misconception is that the metaverse is one thing that Mark Zuckerberg somehow created. Heck, I made a joke that Keanu Reeves was even joking about it, that this is a concept that has been around for a very long time.
Will be more compelling than their real life. So why would you not strap on a VR headset and be able to be with someone across the world at a virtual casino, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, definitely. Can we just not have metaverse be like invented by Facebook?
But one of the greatest marketing campaigns that we've ever seen, I think only comparable to the likes of Tesla, and I know that's a stretch, but my goodness, guys, the Oculus app was the most downloaded app over the holidays. I mean, they made one heck of an impact here, and they've made an impact on me personally as I've been throwing my money into Facebook like it's just throwing it into a fire where I think it's going to be worth tons of money in the near term here, folks. But the metaverse is not one place. I think this is the largest misconception, first and foremost, guys. It's not like you're going to go to one place in the metaverse, and I think this has become very prevalent with things like Sandbox. When you hear about digital real estate, and it almost sounds like a joke, because who's going to be buying digital real estate for like $400,000 next to Snoop Dogg? Well, people are doing it, but they're doing it through people's platforms, and there's not going to be one platform that dominates this space. That is why we primarily heard many different people, using things like cryptocurrencies. That was the whole point of Ethereum, right? When they first invented Ethereum, it was because the guy that made it got so annoyed with World of Warcraft updating their system, where all of that stuff that you grinded, you put hours of your soul into, became immediately worthless. And what cryptocurrency does is it can disconnect you from that metaverse game and allow those objects to be traded outside of it, but have use cases inside of those games, making the rarity of them much better. We probably heard a lot about this with things like NFTs. And I mean, again, cryptocurrencies even extend well beyond that, considering they're the digital front of what could potentially be the future of currency, in my opinion, which is absolutely staggering, right? But most of us already experience the metaverse, and the way we have been experiencing it, and the way it already exists, guys, is through your iPhone, through a 2D screen, whether you're on your social apps, which there's not many of them right now, where we kind of express our metaphysical selves. But then there's video games, right? I mean, video games are one of the largest proponents right now of the metaverse, whether we're talking Call of Duty, Fortnite, where you're buying those in-game skins and guns, and on top of that, you're getting these kind of metaphysical experiences and concerts that Fortnite has already been experimenting with, which is unbelievably cool. But bringing all of us back a little bit here, folks, what are we talking about when we're talking about making money off of this, where the evolution of this goes? And I think it's going to be an encapsulation of multiple metaverses that kind of really take on an experience across real world and fake world platforms. Real world platforms, perhaps actual clothes shopping, grocery shopping, where you can show up, look at products, sell real estate, do all kinds of stuff through this digital experience, meetings, a lot of things the Zuck already talks about. But then you're also going to have this more fun version of it, which is what I'm primarily experiencing, which is the video game side of it, right? Like playing shooting games and poker and things where you're just hanging out and chilling. And a lot of this is going to be brought together, I think, by cryptocurrency itself. I think what's going to connect the metaverse all together, because right now it's completely divided between all these different platforms that are competing with each other, whether we're talking the digital real estate against the Oculus here, that those things may become fairly popular within groups that can be connected through cryptocurrency. So if I want to buy, say, an NFT of a skin or a gun, that it can actually translate into other parts of these platforms. And I think we're a long ways out from kind of a merging of platforms coming together, because right now people want to own the metaverse, so I don't think they're going to want to merge as comfortably. But I think that's the inevitability, right? It's like when you go on your Oculus, you're able to access all of your apps, your Facebook, all of those accounts, your YouTube stuff, your Netflix. And I think if we can find a way where a lot of it's going to connect, will be probably the biggest impact, but I just don't see that happening very quickly here. And the problem is this is leading into bubble territory, in my opinion. This is like the internet in the 80s and 90s. This is like the .com bubble. This is why I say cryptocurrencies, NFTs are in a bubble. That isn't a statement. It isn't a speculation. It is fact. It doesn't take a genius to look at any bubble in the past and realize that there was large bubbles existing in the metaverse platform like Sandbox, guys. guys? Like, does it make sense for this early day real estate? Though I get you can build properties on it, go in and maybe make a virtual casino where your friends hang out, but is that going to be the true potential of what the future of the metaverse looks like? Or is it just an early day hype where something better, something more evolved will come out, like we saw with all these different platforms in the early days? Go ask yourself how many social media accounts exist. If you grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, you might be familiar with things like MSN Chat. How many things back in the day did you use that are still around today? Think about how many social media platforms existed to how many are around today. There's like what? Name as many social media platforms as you can. YouTube, Facebook, maybe, you have Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. There's literally like 5 that you could probably name off the top of your head. That is what's primarily, I think, going to happen, and why it's so risky to be investing and kind of trading into these platforms today. But there's ways you can go about it to mitigate a lot of that risk, like I have, by buying something like Facebook, where you get that underlying advertising business, which, by the way, advertising in the metaverse, a multi-trillion-dollar business, could easily double their bottom line. I mean, it's an incredible thing to being able to invest into such a safe, sound balance sheet company with the largest margins of basically any company on the S&P top 10, but then also have the option to, if this metaverse stuff works out for them and the Oculus works out, which I think it is right now anyways, that you're going to get that upside potential. Cryptocurrency, you have to be a lot more careful, because 99% of those cryptocurrencies are not going to exist. Most NFTs are completely worthless, in my opinion. The reason that Bored Apes became so popular is because when you bought them, you got into a Discord with basically millionaires and billionaires. Just crazy, huge. I think Snoop Dogg was a part of that as well. You just get access to this high class of people that have a lot of money, right? That's what gave value to Bored Apes. But most people keep forgetting that the communities behind those digital arts is what made them so valuable. And unless you're somebody like Beeple, who was asked, is this a bubble, said, I don't know, it seems kind of like a bubble, but time will tell, right? When he sold his digital piece of art, unless you're a big artist or have a huge following, it doesn't make a lot of sense to be spending a lot of money on JPEGs when you can screen cap them. So just keep in mind, guys, that this is such an early day event that we're going to watch a lot of different metaverses evolve in front of our eyes, and what ones actually encapsulate or inspire humanity to get them so involved that it becomes at scale the likes of Apple, Facebook, a lot of these big players already, is going to be entertaining to see. And yeah, whether it becomes disconnected or not is another conversation too, right? Because that's the whole point of cryptocurrency, is to decentralize a lot of these assets, to make them the people's assets in the metaphysical realm. It's just neat thinking about how all of this pans out. So I want to know how you think this is going to pan out into the future. Just a fun, quick discussion today, guys. It's a journey. It's a journey to think about this one. So let me know what you think. Stay cool, stay awesome, and I'll look forward to catching you in the next one.
I like barbecuing, and I guess I'm a Sweet Baby Ray's fanboy.
New alert. Mark Zuckerberg offers you his Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.